Drew Brown healthy and ready to lead his RedBlacks. Brown has thrown for over 400 yards in his past 3 starts. This may be a problem for Edmonton.
With only 3 TDs this season, I'm looking for Trey Ford to get the ball in the end zone. Run, pass it, use those legs to create some explosive plays to get touchdowns tonight.
The only person that's the most happy to see Drew Brown back, Geno Lewis, hasn't scored a touchdown since week 1. His arms are ready to raise the roof tonight.
Does a little bit of this. That's what RedBlack fans are hoping for. I've been doing it for 5 seconds there. We're on camera finally. Enoch Mwamba, Paul Lapolisi to Sunday Night Football on TSN. Lapo, I just mentioned it off the top here. Drew Brown's numbers have been fantastic over the last 3. The Edmonton defense, and they have a ton of star powers, they just have not lived up to the hype.
No, there is a lot of... We did a board right here, and I got 4 categories that they're worst in the CFL. There's 9 categories. We couldn't fit them all. The thing that I find interesting is you think about it in the offseason, Enoch, Robbie Smith, Jake Serez, and Jared Brinkman, Terrell Ford. They already got Nick Anderson and Miles Morgan. So how does they end up continually being at the bottom of the barrel in all these categories? So I'm stealing your line. You said a couple nights ago we were talking about Trey Ford. You said, I want this defense to show up and step up and make plays. That's what I'm looking for tonight.
That's right, and Drew Brown coming back is going to be the story tonight. And one thing he can do, the only game that he's played this season, 413 yards. He's going to try and duplicate that again tonight. And that defense also in Ottawa is wanting really for some offense to be productive on offense. And so they actually are excited to have Drew Brown back. That is for sure.
Who's it a must-win for, Ottawa or Edmonton?
It's got to be Edmonton.
It's got to be Edmonton.
It's gotta be
Yeah, you know, they got to get the crowd back in and say, hey, listen, we don't want another year like last year. Yeah, Edmonton's got to get the win.
It's got to be Edmonton.
No, you know what? I'm completely with you. This has got to be Edmonton tonight. I just think, though, for Ottawa, too, I mean, they're coming off that loss as well. Momentum's kind of on their side, but should be a great one on Sunday Night Football. You know, we've had some incredible games this week. Now, this has to live up to the hype, doesn't it?
It definitely does.
We head to Edmonton next, where the Double E are hoping this is the day they finally get into the win column. Edmonton, Ottawa, wrapping up Week 5 next.
This is not a game for me. It's real, recognized real, and it's plain to see. So if y'all want it to be something, then it's gonna be something. I'm right here, I ain't running. What's up, man? Take your best shot. You can fire away. I'm never gonna stand down. Instead of you got, man, I'm not even faced. No matter what, I won't back down.
Thank you, Kate. A very eventful Week 5 in the CFL is set to wrap up in Edmonton as the RedBlacks roll into town to face the Elks. Edmonton, of course, 0-3 to start the season. Another slow start for the 4th year in a row. Ottawa also off to a bit of a slow start at 1-3, but they get QB1 back here this afternoon.
Yeah, the Ottawa RedBlacks will get their starter and their leader back in the lineup, in the starting lineup. Drew Brown missed 3 games, and in the one he did play, which was Week 1 of the regular season, he threw for over 400 yards. The Elks are looking for their first win of the year. Their starter, Trey Ford, keeps improving. His only start versus Ottawa was a win, and he threw for over 300 in that one a couple of years ago. This team's got to win.
Mark Killam, as you mentioned, looking for his first win as a head coach in the league. Losses to BC, Montreal, and Winnipeg so far. On the other side, in his 4th season with Ottawa, Bob Dice 3-2 versus Edmonton in his coaching career. It will be the Elks who will get the ball to kick it off. What do we have? We've given away $1 million with Save on Foods, a walk-off winner, a Stampede Bowl. What do the RedBlacks and the Elks have for us here this afternoon? That's taken at the 20 on the initial return of the ball game. Decent push all the way back out beyond the 40, and that is where we will get our first look at Trey Ford.
Yeah, Paul Lapolisi on the panel said before the game that he's got to find a way, whether it be using his legs, his great athletic ability to make people miss, or throwing the football. But I don't think I can remember, in recent history anyway, a team that more desperately needs to win. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some urgency for Ottawa as well. They've only got 1 win in the season. They're looking for number 2. But look at the Edmonton Elks over the last few years at this time of year. They have to be desperate.
start it on their own 42. Ford gets it away near side. And that one is hauled in by Dunbar, his 15th catch of the season. And obviously, he's a big part of this Edmonton offense.
Yeah, take a look at the O-line for the second straight game. Mark Evans will bump over to guard, and Mark Corte plays center for David Baird. Still out. So you take a look in the receiving corps. Julian Grant. Bit of a roller coaster game in Winnipeg. Highs and lows for him, but over 100 yards at the end of the day. For him to have a big game here tonight, he'll have to.
Yeah, he finished with 115 yards on 5 catches in that game. He's got 2 deep shots already this year. They'll try to pick up first down on the ground, pushing it ahead. It'll be close. Might be Cody Fajardo time here against his Ottawa defense.
Well, here's something that's a little odd. Lorenzo Malden on the defensive line are the only one of the starters without a quarterback sack at this point in the regular season, and the RedBlacks have played 4 games now, so you know that they'll come in bunches when they do. Jonathan Santos-Knox is their leading tackler at 21, and I'm interested to watch Charlie Ringland play that safety spot out of the U of S.
So welcome our viewers on CBS Sports Network, south of the border.
Oh, very close here.
You haven't missed a ton unless you love opening kickoffs. Cody Fajardo is close. Fajardo's getting up saying, I got it. Keep this ball on the field. Let's get another look at it here, though.
Well, where they placed it, I'm wondering if they're going to bring in the sticks. Only the officials, they are going to bring in the sticks. This is how close it is. There's very little push. Like Fajardo with a little bit of second effort leaned across.
Well, we are going to get a measurement here early. This would be the worst possible start for Edmonton. A turnover on downs just outside your own 50. And let's get a close look. Whoa! Literally just enough to avoid an early disaster.
Hey, sometimes struggling teams need a break or two.
Does that count?
Maybe that's one for Mark Killen's group. That was an inch.
That was, I mean, it's as close as it could get, as close as it could be. So the offense will stay on the field after surviving a bit of a scare here early on at home. Move some protection around here. Ford on the ground. Nowhere to go. Might even be a loss on the play. Rankin looking for something up the middle, and there just was nothing there.
Rankin in the backfield. He's got some fullback help in Tanner Green. Trying to lead the way and get that kickoff block. Just a nice gap cancellation there from Tayala.
They do lose a yard, so it's 2nd and 11. There's 45% on second down conversions this season. Ottawa, they're going to bring some pressure. Trey under fire, trying to escape, throws as he's hit. He's got a first down. Goes back to Dunbar. And Edmonton's offense will stay on the field.
Full pressure here from the Ottawa RedBlacks, and there's one lane that is left open. And that's the one that Trey Ford finds. That's to the C gap, just to the left of the formation. Cleon Lang tries to close it down, probably goes a step too far. Can't react in time, and a 14-yard gain on the fly, making it up as he goes along.
Nice adjustment by Dunbar to haul that one in. He's got 22 yards early. Ford flips this out to Rankin. Got one block, turns it up, first down more. Takes it down to the 20. Stiff arm trying to get away. Touchdown, Edmonton. Rankin takes it home. Flag on the play, but it's a 45-yard strike to Justin Rankin. I think it's against Ottawa.
Major foul, face mask, Ottawa number 23. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Robert Priester gets the penalty, but let's take another look at the Rankin touchdown, his first of the season.
Well, first of all, pressure off the edge from Ottawa, and Trey Ford has to just float this over to Rankin. Just jump it over that rush, get it into his hands, and what acceleration by Rankin once he had that football. Gone.
6-play, 68-yard drive finished. Ford, Rankin got a big block to open up some space. Did the rest himself.
Opening drive for the Elks, a little bit of a scare here in 3rd and 1, but got it by a couple of millimeters. And then a couple of athletic plays from Trey Ford there, throwing on the run. 6 plays, 68 yards, and then this little loop pass over to Justin Rankin. Took up 326, 45-yard TD drive to get things started here.
Tenth catch of the year for Rankin. Goes the distance.
Wow. Big kick.
And now after the penalty that was tagged on with the face mask.
Right.
A little bit easier to smack that one all the way down the field. And take the point and go up 8-0.
You know, and I mentioned both teams are going to play with a sense of urgency tonight. You look at Ottawa's record. They have the 1 win, but that was against Calgary in the rainstorm. And have a sense of urgency of their own, but I just can't think of a team that needs a win more than the Edmonton Elks.
Drew Brown is back, 400 yards or more in 3 straight starts.
Number 3.
Gets it to Hardy. Hardy eventually tackled on the play.
Straight cover 3 out of the gate for J.C. Sherritt's group on defense that have underachieved all season, and Drew Brown just getting things started with a little swing pass to Justin Hardy.
It was Robbie Smith who eventually got out to make the tackle on Hardy. Catching passes at a 79% clip so far this season is Hardy. 43 yards on 4 catches last week for number 2 in red and white. Now on the ground, pushing ahead, and that'll be a first down. Ottawa out of Baboye, picking it up on the ground with a 4-yard carry.
O-line for Ottawa, Dante Lee is out. Parker Moore is in at right tackle. True rookie out of East Carolina, 24-year-old. Go up against some good defensive ends in Robbie Smith and Brandon Barlow, and there he is, making his return to Edmonton. Which...
A little bit more on Gino later on in the quarter.
A little bit more as the game goes on.
Brown deep in the pocket, down the field, finds a man just outside the 40. First catch of the day for Pimpleton.
Just getting that waggle towards the line of scrimmage, full speed, get out, and then just going to sit it down. And when I mentioned cover 3 out the top, that's the start here. J.C. Sherritt, the defensive coordinator, playing zones and drop it 3 deep. So cover 3 is 3 deep zone. That was another zone look, and that's why Hardy could find that soft spot.
3 options out to the right for Brown, and now they'll bring an option underneath. They'll hand it off. Back to the line of scrimmage, no further for Adebaboye.
Now the Edmonton defenders, starting with Jake Sorensen, who got his first sack last week against Winnipeg, will tell you they've underachieved. And for this team to get their first win, they have to play better. Niles Morgan, that means the leaders have to step up and lead. That means Niles Morgan's got to have his best game. And so does Royce Metier at that safety position. Bring the DBs together, get them going, get that first pick of the year. They don't have one yet.
2nd and 12 after a 2-yard loss. Ottawa works from the Edmonton 44. There's a flag that flies as Brown gets it away. It's caught by Keelan White, but this is against Ottawa, I believe. A RedBlacks receiver.
Looked like there might have been 2 of them. Bit early. Yeah. They got into their downhill waggle, and it looked like they were in the neutral zone.
Offside. Ottawa number 83. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
That's Pimpleton. Probably doesn't even need a head start, to be honest with you. That guy can absolutely fly. He gets caught there, and that'll back Ottawa up. What was looking like a pretty good drive. Drew Brown is going to have to pick up 17 here. Get back in field goal range at least.
And good news for Ottawa fans is that he looks good throwing the ball. Had that hip injury, missed 3 games. Looks good in this first drive.
Looking to throw here. Pocket collapses, but he gets away. Now he dumps it off. Adam Aboye stopped at the 35. But that moves them back within field goal range here today.
I think that's the concern. You look at your starting quarterback, a guy who, as I mentioned in that first game versus Saskatchewan, threw for over 400 yards. And how does he look? How does he look with the hip injury? It's on his left side. Rehabbed it. They started with Matthew Schultz in that first game and then went to Dustin Crum for 2 straight games, all losses. So very happy to have him back, and he looks pretty good throwing the football in that first drive.
Lewis Ward just under 73% on the season. This one from just outside 40. It is up, and he sneaks it through inside that right upright.
Crum did win the game in Calgary. Not all losses.
He got one. Trey Ford looking to do the same. Edmonton in search of their first victory of the season. Welcome back to Edmonton. The Elks lead 8-3. Trey Ford not completely unscathed here.
Well, this was back to that big play that kept the drive alive in their touchdown drive to start this game. Trey Ford showing that athletic ability, being tackled, still getting the ball out there to Dunbar. Somewhere along this drive, he hurt his left hand. He was trying to shake that off on the sideline. Maybe it was right there where he took a hit from the outside and got a Band-Aid on the left hand.
Looking to throw here. Goes back to Rankin, a little bit high. Rankin hauled it in, but the tackle made immediately by Pickett.
So I think the good news is for Elks fans is that it's his left hand, not his right. But again, you see the progression, you see the improvement from week 1 and the last 2 weeks, averaging 280 in the last 2 weeks. Changed that touchdown interception ratio, nice 3-1 ratio. The one thing he didn't do last week against Winnipeg was run.
Just one carry in that game,
yeah.
Those last 2 games against Montreal and Winnipeg, both those defenses pretty solid. 2nd and 10 here, though. RedBlacks bring some more pressure, zips it out to the 50, close to a first down. As he goes to Gittins Jr. on the play, 10 yards, and it will be a first down.
Good run from that 3rd receiver spot. You can play 3 into the boundary now with the hash marks moved in closer to each other. There's a couple of choices there. Just fit that right in. So those who think that Trey Ford can't throw from the pocket, that's a good example of the fact that he can. There were 3 defenders all around Gittins, and he put it right on him.
Ford has started the game 5 of 5 for 77 yards and a touchdown. This time they'll reverse it. It's Dunbar looking for a block or 2, and he's got one. And that's enough for another first down for Edmonton as Jordan Maksimic goes a little bit deeper into the playbook.
Well, it's misdirection because you got a couple of guys going this way, and you're thinking that the ball is going to just be handed off there, and here comes from the opposite side, Stephen Dunbar. Little inside fake to Justin Rankin. Stephen Dunbar on the reverse the other way. 11-yard gain and close to field goal range.
There's a look at the OC, assistant head coach, Maksimic. 1st and 10, Ford turns, pressure right in his face, dumps it over the top for Rankin again, and he's got space once more. Down to the 35-30 before they track him down. Justin Rankin through the air having himself a quarter.
Well, you just mentioned it, Dustin. I'm real impressed with Jordan Maksimic's play calling here. They go with the reverse, misdirection, get the defensive line thinking. Then they go full-on screen play to Rankin, which works very well. Good athleticism from their quarterback and Trey Ford again to throw from an awkward position to get it to him. I know it's not a deep throw, but he has to throw around the rush. Nice variety of play calling here.
Ford already at 100 yards, 68 of them to his running back. Now out into the flat.
Yes.
wide open. His fullback, Tanner Green. And Green broke one tackle and then pushed out of bounds as his first catch of the season.
This is what it does to defensive ends playing on the edge. When Trey Ford runs this fake and comes out this way, you freeze because you can't lose contain on number 2. See how they freeze here? They don't want to lose contain, and that allows them time to get it out there to Tanner Green.
Oh, back in the red zone once again after an 18-yard pickup to the fullback Green. And Edmonton will look to find the end zone again here. Ford this time tosses it in front of himself. They'll push it down towards the end zone. In! Touchdown, Edmonton! Giddens, second of the season.
So the last reverse they did, going in one direction, Julian Grant's going looking like it's the same type of reverse, but this time Ford goes underneath. I mean, very similar looking play to one earlier in this drive, except for it's the underneath jet sweep that is the target. Again, nice play call.
Blanchard smokes another one through, and a stunning start here at Edmonton as the Elks with a 15-3 lead. Trey Ford, 2 touchdown passes and a perfect 8 for 8 to get started.
So all the Mr. that defensive line and basically front 7 just mesmerized. Who's getting the ball here? Sprinkle in a little bit of a screen to Justin Rankin, which was another nice play, well executed. One of the best drives of the year, I think, offensively for Jordan Maksimic.
I think what kids say, or trendy people would say, Maksimic's in his bag right now.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I might be wrong. On the return, Devin takes it back out beyond the 35, and Ottawa's offense isn't going to be going anywhere, so we could be in for some fireworks here this afternoon in Edmonton.
Well, you think of the weapons that Drew Brown has at his disposal. Justin Hardy, Geno Lewis. We'll get to him. And
doesn't have Addison.
Yeah, that's the one guy missing from the, as Coach Dice calls him, from the Avengers.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Addison, 220 yards, 21 catches and a touchdown this year. Not available today. On the ground to start it, Adeboboye.
Right now it's John.
Short pickup on first down.
Good discussion with Drew Brown leading into this week and coming off that injury, and was really affecting, that hip injury was affecting not only him running or planting in the pocket, but also his throwing motion. Yeah, that looks off too.
Yeah, receivers once again jumping the gun here. A couple of them, I think.
Games in 3 straight weeks with different quarterbacks calling the signals, and it does make a difference when even when the starter has been out for a while and then comes back. You got to get used to his cadence and his pace and actually
Illegal
his
procedure.
voice.
Ottawa number 61, 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
That's actually called on the left guard, Desjardins. Ottawa, 10 penalties per game. That's the highest total in the league. I want to dial that in a little bit. After that one, they now sit 2nd and 13. Brown, screen to Pimpleton. Pimpleton, nowhere to go. Had a couple of blockers, but Edmonton's defense quickly to the ball. And that'll force a punt from Ottawa.
Yeah, if you get second and more than 10, You're going to play zone defensively. Every coach will do that. Every coordinator will do that. Play zone, make them throw it underneath. Don't give them anything deep or anything in that intermediate area. Rally to make the tackle.
Leone stands just inside his own 25. Javon Leake set to return. Gets it away just in time. Nailed it. Leake a few steps back. Has to take it at the 12. A 61-yard behemoth punt. Leake on the return, lunging back out around the 25. Well, Gino Lewis back in Edmonton with the RedBlacks. Tom Gazzola will have more on him when we return. I'd like to say this flew under the radar during the offseason, but it didn't. That superstar comment from Ed Hervey in reference to Gino Lewis made some headline. Let's send it down to Tom Gazzola for more.
Yeah, you might think that revenge would be on the mind of Gino Lewis after Ed Hervey made those comments in the offseason. You guys, that's not the case at all, surprisingly. Speaking to Lewis during the week, he said that the focus was altered because his RedBlacks team is 1-3 thus far, desperate need of a win. He wants to dial it in and make sure that they keep pace in the East Division. Now, after 2 seasons in green and gold, Lewis picking up 1,000 yards receiving last year, he says he wants to make some big plays tonight against his old club. And if he does find his way into the end zone, you guys, he might just have something a little special.
Okay. The intrigue continues to mount here on a Sunday in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, I mean, I totally got it. It was a good conversation we had with him. And, you know, he said, listen, if we were 4-0 going into Edmonton, it might be different, but
Leak in at running back.
But he doesn't want to lose his focus, and that's the bottom line. I mean, you know, it's only works and it's only fun and it's only revenge if you win. So that's his focus, 100%. And he wants to be a great teammate. He wants to make sure he's there for Drew Brown, who talked about him as a great route runner that people don't talk enough about. He can win the jump ball. We all know that. But he is an excellent route runner, and Drew Brown talked at length about that with us this week. But it's fun. It creates a buzz. It creates talk. But he's not playing against Ed Hervey.
Ford in trouble and taken down, but nowhere to go on that one for Ford as Bryce Carter has his 2nd sack of the season.
Yeah, Bryce Carter nice and low in that track stance, getting ready to run his 40. Wondered about the right side of that offensive line and just runs a stunt. So basically, it's not a full blitz. He, instead of going up in that defensive end position and being wide, he takes a step up and then cuts underneath and really goes between the center and the guard to get home.
Cody Grace gets it away. It's going to bounce midfield and out of bounds. Well, Gino Lewis had some good years here in Edmonton. A few highlight reel plays along the way.
One against the team he's playing for right now. That he's talked about with his new teammates. But yeah, I mean, we know about the jump ball. We know about the 50-50 balls that aren't 50-50 when it's him or a Kenny Lawler in the league, but focusing on getting that W and being a good teammate. Leads his team right now in money catches for first downs.
Just a 38-yard kick, so great field position here for Ottawa. And I believe that's the first touch of the day for William Stanback.
But I believe it was Enoch in the panel that was talking about how Gino Lewis has not had a touchdown throw or touchdown catch since Drew Brown went down. So, you know, the receiving core, and this is not a shot at Dustin Crum or anything like that. He's a different style quarterback. Drew Brown's a pure passer from the pocket. You know, Gino's excited about the possibility of big numbers tonight.
2nd and 6 on the Edmonton 50. Brown looking to pass here. Down the field into no man's land. And that falls incomplete at the end of the quarter. That's actually the first incompletion of the football game by either quarterback. Edmonton looking for that rare June July victory. They lead 15-3 at home against Ottawa. Welcome back to Commonwealth. Edmonton leads 15-3, and 15 points offensively is very good, but the defense is where you want to go on here.
Well, the defense has been under a lot of pressure. I mean, Ed Hervey went out and spent some money in the offseason to build this defense. A lot of former Grey Cup champions in the defense, and they were underachieving. I thought their best quarter was against Winnipeg in the third quarter, where they held Zach Collaros last week to 4 2-and-outs in that quarter. But this one rivals that. I mean, a very good start for a much maligned Edmonton defense.
Consecutive 2-and-outs for the RedBlacks.
Having said that, Drew Brown is going to get back into that groove at some point.
This drops in just outside the 10. And a little bit of room on the near side for Javon Leak. Leak doesn't need a block, gets by a man, now tries to cut it back up the field, runs out of space just outside the 40. Nice tackle at the end of the play. A 35-yard return, though, for Javon Leak. Instant field position for Trey Ford.
Yeah, I think Bennett Williams is the guy who finally makes the tackle, but the great speed by Javon Leak to get the corner. You got to get the edge, and there's one contained man that's trying to get as deep as he can to the ball, and if you get around that one, you got something. And here comes the tackle. That was a big one, or he's still running.
That was Bennett Williams. Came flying in there. Return all the way out to the Edmonton 47. Ford 8 of 8 for 126 and 2 touchdowns. Throwing again, or he wanted to. Now he's going to take off on the run. There's a flag as he escapes, and he's got a first down on the far sideline.
That'll be holding.
Let's see if this one's coming back. It is.
Holding. Edmonton number 61. 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
That's Mark Evans, the 25-year-old in his rookie season.
Good talk with Mark Killam this week about his message over the week, the work week, to his players, and what he said on the after the loss to Winnipeg, that no matter what happens in the game, good or bad, the only thing that matters is the next play. That's been their strong message this week. So this is the first opportunity.
First and 20 here. And Ford on the run to his right, still looking downfield. Now he just wants to take off, tiptoes the sideline. Picks up a few yards on the play, close to 8.
He's got quickness like I've not seen. And when you get outside here and you're Lorenzo Malton, first of all, you're the inside rush. Now you're against linebackers. And those are cover linebackers. That's a Darius Pickett chasing him. Got outside and picked up the penalty yards and got himself into a 2nd and 10. Or just beyond that.
Be an even dozen what they need here on 2nd down from their own 45. RedBlacks are going to bring some heat. Ford gets it away. Caught up beyond the 50. Will not be enough for a first down. Kyrus Jackson with his first catch in the Canadian Football League. They'll be forced to kick it away. Pimpleton and Dedman back there. That's 2 pretty dangerous guys.
Well, and then you think of Javon Leak.
Yeah, the other side.
On the other side.
Hey, we had another $1 million.
Yeah.
I guess not for the punt, but.
Well, no, not for punts, but the potential is here tonight with these guys.
Grace, a high kick. That hangs up there forever. Pimpleton takes it, trying to find some space. A little bit of a hesitation, can't emerge from that pile on the far side, and he'll take it out of bounds. A little stormy this morning here at Edmonton, but it's cleared up nicely at kickoff for the RedBlacks and Elks. proudly Canadian. Drew Brown gets the ball here on his own 22, trailing by 12. On the ground to start it, right up the middle. Stanback's got a first down for Ottawa. 12 on the ground.
Nice blocking up front. There's a natural hole there before the snap of the ball, but you know that there'll be a defender that is got the responsibility of freezing that, so you see the patience of Stanback to wait for that slide protection, basically, or side blocking to unfold before he makes his break.
Now from the 34, Brown. And that one is dropped by Gino Lewis. Very rare to see Gino that wide open and not haul it in.
Yeah, and this one, he's shaking his head on his way back to the huddle because he was trying to spin out of this before he caught the ball, before he secured it. See how he's already trying to make the turn? He knew the defender was coming from the inside out, so he started to make the turn before securing the football.
1,000 yards last year with Edmonton. 10 touchdowns as well. 2nd and 10 for Brown. 3 out to his right. Dumps it off to Stanback over the middle. Tackle made immediately. Nowhere to go for Stanback on that one. Jalen Garnes, one of the new guys on the block here in Edmonton, makes the play.
Is this Edmonton defense going to have their best game of the season?
Is this the coming out party?
Is this the coming out party for a defense that many thought were going to be the top defense in the league, and that just hasn't transpired so far?
Leak slides back and to his left, takes it at the 16. A little bit of space up that far sideline, and he's still going. Here goes Devon Leak. How about this? Midfield. One man to beat on the near side. He'll take it down to the 40. The race is on. He gets to the 20. All the way to the 5. Look out. Is he there? Oh, boy, that's close. Touchdown, Edmonton. He let up for a moment and had just enough juice to finish the job.
That was close. Oh, he was on the 5-yard line, thought he was home free, thought it was over. But there was a backside second effort that was on its way, and he just saw him in time. But look at the acceleration through the hole. That's just great flat-out speed. 94-yarder, but watch how he gears down here thinking, okay, I'll glide the last 5, and then that was close. We've seen it happen before. But that's across the cone.
Would have been an all-time backfire letting up like that. 94 yards. 6th return touchdown this season in the CFL. Siobhan Leak's got one. And Edmonton now leading 21-3.
Did you hear Mark Killam there?
I think he said you're back.
He said you're back. It was great. It was great all the way to the end zone, all the time. Just a little reminder, as outstanding of a play that was, it's a little reminder that they just don't let up until you're across the line.
I think we need to give some credit. I believe it was Dubois.
Yeah.
Who all the way back,
hustle.
right?
Yeah.
All the way back. One of the fastest guys in the league. He did not give up. He got there to make it interesting at the end of the play. And they were looking at him. He's up now, and he's off fine. Dubois. So that was the bit of a delay there. Blanchard out. And that one's right down the gut. And Edmonton, offense, defense, special teams, all clicking here on a Sunday at Commonwealth Stadium. Well, things have started very well for Edmonton so far here tonight, but an up-and-down week at practice. For more on that, let's send it back down to Tom Gazzola.
Yeah, Dusty, a very interesting week for the Elks. Talking to Mark Killam and Trey Ford, they said that Thursday's practice was a bad one. Mark Killam saying that's unacceptable from his group at this level. Trey Ford saying it was the worst of his life. All levels. Now, to the team's credit, it did bounce back with one of its best practices of the season on Friday. And Killam admitted there have been some good spurts for his Elks squad so far this season. They've yet to have a complete game. But like Schutz alluded to, the messaging from the coaching staff is this group needs to be coach-led, player-driven.
It's a good way to break it down, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Take ownership of that locker room, and you set the standard.
Dedmon takes it just outside his own end zone, trying to find some room, stays on his feet, and eventually taken down just outside the 25.
And it was a great discussion because Mark Killam, who spent a lot of time in Calgary and was there in some very good years with Bo Levi Mitchell leading that offense, and he said, there was times when they didn't have a very good practice, and it was the players that would go back out onto the field afterwards and go on their own and run the plays again to make sure they got it right. That wasn't the coaches running that. That was the players saying, hey, that wasn't good enough. Let's go do it again.
Ottawa starting on their own 27. Brown dumps it off, misses the intended target. His running back, Adeboboye.
And Killam had the same message for his team when they had the bad practice and then bounced back the next week. And after the bad practice, Trey Ford went home and he said at any level it was his worst practice of his life at any level, which is kind of a wow statement. But he went home and threw for 2 hours to get it out of his system.
Pressure now, Brown on the run, just has to throw it away to avoid the sack as Edmonton brought the heat.
But clearly in all three phases now, special teams, defense, this is their best start of the season. And offense, 22 points on the board, got one special team score as well, but all three phases got the message this week.
Defensive coordinator, J.C. Sherritt, right back to the tablet. Leone set to kick it away, gets it away cleanly. Oh, it's a big one. This is a big one. All the way back to the 20, 63-yard kick. Nowhere to go on the return this time as Kyrus Jackson in the mix on special teams. Women's Euro on TSN.
Now, from an Ottawa perspective here, you almost think, well, Cody Fajardo's out there for a series.
All right, so a peek at Cody Fajardo. Tommy, get eyes on Trey down on the sideline there. We'll see what's up. Fajardo on the run to his right, down the field. Dunbar lays out and he goes and gets it. Spectacular stuff from Steven Dunbar.
Wow, what a catch. That looked like that had no shot. It looked like with the pressure on Cody Fajardo, and we'll find out what's going on with Trey Ford here, but little half roll, and I thought this one was almost out of bounds. It was so far away. Look at Dunbar go and get it. What a catch.
Trey is on the sideline, helmet on. Looks fine. Different look. Cody Fajardo coming into the game. Now on the ground. And that one sniffed out well by the RedBlacks defense. Malden holding in there on the tackle.
Well, I think we got to look at it again, don't we? I mean,
a spectacular catch.
Yeah, and when Cody Fajardo got rid of that, I thought there is no shot. He was coming out of the hole out of that on that out cut. I mean, there's not a hole on the field. I mean, figuratively speaking, he's coming out of a hole trying to get to that break, and then just goes and gets it. What a catch.
2nd and 14. Cody Fajardo in at quarterback for now, we believe. He'll have some time here out into the flat. That's Mathis with the catch. Back beyond the original line of scrimmage, but it'll be a 3rd down.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it almost look, if he's not hurt, and it doesn't appear that he is, I mean, that left hand we talked about, that this looks like it was a plan to somewhere in the game, put Cody Fajardo in for at least a series, maybe more. We'll see who comes out next, and let Trey Ford watch from the sideline. But Trey Ford is 9 of 9.
I was just going to say, I don't like. I mean, you're up 22-3. Things are going better than they have all season. Trey Ford's 9 of 9 for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns, and you don't put him back out there for a series? It just doesn't add up. 37-yard kick, flag on a short return. Drew Brown, he's 5 of 9 for 49 yards, but he's got a great streak on the go right now. 400 yards in 3 straight. No yard. Well, you don't like seeing this. On that return on the far sideline, Devontae Dedmon went down and has not got back up. They're bringing out the cart for him here. Here's a look at it.
Ooh. Yeah, the knee got caught underneath in that tackle. And
DK Bonhomme on the tackle. And the cart is out on the sideline. See both training staffs over there right now. And you hate to see it for one of the most electric players in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, it just looked like that foot got stuck and planted into the ground, and then he got twisted and it folded underneath him. But
looks like they're going to lift him up. There he is. Keeping that leg stabilized. And he'll get some help into the cart by his teammates, and a round of applause from the fans here in Edmonton.
just an outstanding kick returner. Best kick return average in the league last year at almost 30 yards a return. 5 kick returns last year over 40 yards. That led the league as well.
Obviously emotional as the cart gets set to pull away. Tough day for Ottawa. Gets even worse losing a weapon like him. And you're right, it was just his leg kind of got caught as Bonhomme went to spin him around. Got rolled up on a little bit. And hopefully it's not as bad as it looks. His head coach come over there. The last few words for the star returner of the Ottawa RedBlacks. Use both him and Pimpleton in the return game. And we'll see if Ottawa can find some momentum in this football game. Trailing by 19, they'll start on their own 42. 4-man pressure from Edmonton. Get it away. That catch is made. Garns right on him. But it's hauled in by Andre Miller. He had 15 catches last year, a couple of touchdowns as well. He draws into the lineup with Braylon Addison not being able to go.
Addison was leading the team up to this point, but he's not available, so Andre Miller takes his spot. They really liked him in training camp.
Got 7. They'll need 3 more here. 3 options out to the wide side right for Brown. Extra protection in on that line. That's where they're going to go, on the ground in a huge hole. Stand back again, takes it down inside the Edmonton 50.
Drew Desjardins gets the big block, number 61 on the left side of the offensive line. He's got to get to the second level in the linebacking core. Little chip to his inside right, and he opens the hole.
15 for Stanback. He's got 29 yards on just 3 carries in this ball game. Empty backfield here for Brown. Now they'll bring Pimpleton underneath. He finds a block, stays on his feet, cuts it back. Here goes Pimpleton down inside the 25, tripped up just inside the 20. He was thinking of taking it home too, wasn't he?
Well, he also thought at the end of the run that he was tripped by his own guy and wasn't down by contact yet. But I think the whistle did blow. Yeah, this was his vision on the outside. Gino Lewis trying to get a block. It was an inside cut on Royce Metier.
Ottawa inside the red zone from the Edmonton 18. Brown, Pimpleton, and he's hammered. Held on to the ball, but he took a pop from Bynum. How about that?
And a throw from Drew Brown that protected Pimpleton. Actually did. I mean, I know it was a little bit high, had to go up, but it allowed him to catch it with his back to Bynum. He had to turn around. He's catching that one right in the chin.
4 yards the hard way for Pimpleton there. 2nd and 6 from the Edmonton 14. Brown, does he look end zone? Short of it, but he's got a first down. Goes back to Pimpleton, who thought about getting up and going after it. That's his 5th catch of the ball game.
Yeah, starting to see Drew Brown get into a bit of a rhythm. Drew Brown starting to show us again that quick read and release ability that he has. That's the one thing Drew Brown does so well, is his ability to quickly recognize the defense, get the ball out of his hands to his receiver. Starting to see that come back a little bit here.
Drew Brown sends Gino Lewis out in the slot to his left. Pimpleton will go there as well. Stand back in and running back. Brown waits from the pocket, goes to the end zone. Who else? Of course, Gino raises the roof in its return to Commonwealth. Touchdown, RedBlacks.
You know, the other thing Gino Lewis told us in our call was that he wants to put on a show for the fans that still love him here in Edmonton, and there are tons of them. In fact, before the game in warm-up, he was talking to kids and signing stuff for kids, and he does want to put on a show, but you know, deep down. Had the one drop earlier, comes back, and is back in the touchdown column. That's his 2nd.
Lewis Ward knocks one through, and once again, it's a 12-point ball game here in Edmonton. RedBlacks offense puts together a drive here late in the first half. Gino Lewis back in that Edmonton end zone.
Well, 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 Edmonton, all 3 phases have come to play, and then we have the return of Gino Lewis. And by the way, Paul has been working so hard, as the kids would say, Lapo's in his bag. You're going to have to see it at halftime. Trust me. Right, Lapo?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Halftime coming up. Don't want to miss it. Still got probably an eventful 2 minutes and 53 seconds here in Edmonton. That's taken just inside the 20. Arkell Smith pushes it out shy of the 40.
Couple things have to happen well for Ottawa to make this play. First of all, William Stanback's got to recognize where the open defender is coming and block him. He does that a nice job right there in the A gap. Without that block, Drew Brown doesn't have the time to stand in there and throw it. Now, Drew Brown told us about Gino Lewis as a route runner. Here's a great example of exactly what he was talking about. Watch him outside fake, lean into that outside cut, and then right back to the post. What a play. Kobe Williams could only look and watch.
Trey Ford is back in at quarterback, so he appears to be fine. Gets it out to Dunbar. And Dunbar breaking a couple of tackles, pushing it ahead. Trey Ford is 10 for 10 to start this game. Dunbar has received the majority of those. That's his 4th catch of the game.
Yeah, I've seen it before. I've seen it many times before, where just as a change of pace, there'll be a package for a veteran quarterback that happens to be number 2. Not a fan necessarily. And that's not a slight on Cody Fajardo by any stretch. You just have a quarterback who's 9-9.
Ford, a ton of time, gets it away, he throws, and there's his first incompletion of the ball game. A little too high for the intended target. Looking for Gittens, I believe. Just joining us, Dedmon left the game with an injury, so Pimpleton back to return this kick. And with just over 2 minutes left, huge opportunity for Drew Brown here. Put together another drive, points on the board, tighten this thing up a bit.
You got a one-possession game if you can. Lots of time.
Towering kick from Grace. 57-yard kick, taken just inside the 15. Pimpleton, look at this burst, right up the middle. Khalil Pimpleton, one man to beat, and now is he going to go? They'll try to track him down from behind. He's at the 30, now to the 20. Over a man, still going. Are you kidding me? What is happening? Khalil Pimpleton, not a flag inside, and it's a house call the other way. Unreal stuff here at Commonwealth.
Okay. Wow. Special teams in the Canadian Football League. How good is this? Javon Leake has one for Edmonton already tonight. Pimpleton now breaks a couple of tackles, keeps his balance, stays outside, outruns the angles, and then puts the brakes on. Little jump, cut back inside. 97-yarder.
Wow. 94-yard punt return from Leake, 97 from Pimpleton. If you have the over in the game, you're loving the first half. And it's a 5-point ball game with 1:51 remaining in the quarter.
2 kickoff returns for touchdowns on Friday night. 2 punt returns for touchdowns on Sunday night. Putting on a show. They're showing off now. How about Drew Brown enjoying this? See, we were just talking about Drew Brown has time to put some points on the board, make it a one-possession game. Or you can just watch.
Didn't even need him.
He could just cheerlead from the sideline. His teammate Pimpleton taking it to the house.
Well, still some time on the board for Edmonton with 1 minute and 51 seconds left to get the ball back and maybe drive the field. Pimpleton. I mean, the depth at the return position in Ottawa. They lose Dedmon. Pimpleton steps in. Touchdown. Just like that.
Guess what? It's not over yet. We're not even at halftime.
Kearis Jackson and Arkell Smith back on the return this time. That's taken just inside the 20 by Arkell Smith. Smith runs into a wall at the 40-yard line, and that's where Trey Ford will get the ball. Less than 2 minutes to operate, but he's got a lead.
Got a lead, but it has disappeared pretty quickly over the last. It started, they're eating it up, Ottawa, over the last couple of series. The offensive series from Drew Brown, a big return from Pimpleton, and it's a one-possession game where Edmonton had complete control of it after the first quarter. So there's got to be a sense of urgency here for Trey Ford. He still has time for some points before the half.
His drive will start on his own 39. And on the ground, pushing it ahead. How about that for an effort? Looks like it's going to be a first down as they could not stop Justin Rankin.
The other thing, we'll get Tom to look into this as well, but we haven't seen Javon Leake on the field since his big return for a touchdown. And oftentimes they'll rotate Rankin with Leake on offense, but he hasn't been returning either.
Rankin coming into this game, 99 yards after contact. That's top 10 numbers in the league. That time he just took the contact with him. They'll go back to him again, and he runs in just shy of midfield. Let's go down to Tom Gazzola for a quick update. All right, so that's the absolute latest.
Not available.
We'll monitor that for the second half here. Again, both these teams probably want to have every offensive weapon at their disposal with what looks to be a high-scoring affair shaping up at Commonwealth. 2nd and 7. Ford. Rankin picks up some pressure, dumps it off underneath. Gittins nowhere to go. Frankie Griffin was waiting for him there, and that'll be short of a first down. 3rd and a couple here. Cody Grace, no doubt about it, will come out to punt this away.
Ottawa's not going with real exotic blitzes right now, but they are forcing those underneath throws on 2nd and long in the last couple of series.
Pimpleton stands on his 5, just took one back. He might still be tired. Keelan White, another option back there. Grace kicks it in the direction of Pimpleton. Steps up underneath it, takes it at the 16, spins it out of bounds. There's nowhere to go for Pimpleton that time as Grace buried him along the sideline. What do you focus on at the half here? Caden, the guys.
Yeah, just like it happens in a lot of games for different reasons at different times, but you have to change the script in the final couple of minutes of the half, and certainly in the final 3 minutes of the games, because a lot can happen, like what happened last night in Montreal. The BC Lions getting a last-second win.
Much needed win for the Lions with Rourke back at the helm at quarterback. On the ground, another huge hole pushing ahead, close to a first down. Adeboboye back in. There's also a flag on the far side of the field.
Ottawa's starting to get that run game going a little bit. We saw Williams stand back, nice block, and a couple of runs in the last touchdown drive for Ottawa. Offensively, Adeboboye getting a chance. They're really rotating them almost equally throughout games over the last few weeks.
Adeboboye, 19 carries on the season for 147 yards. That's 7.7 yards per carry. Standback, who had a heavier workload earlier in the season, has 30 carries for 153 yards. And 5.1 yard per carry average.
Major foul. Face mask. Edmonton number 45. We're going to go 15 yards from the end of the run and a first down.
All right, so 20 seconds left. Face mask brings it up 15. Maybe a quick throw, and they're in field goal range here.
Adeboboye trying to go off the block there. You see the left hand on the face mask. Correct call.
Brown dumps it out far side. Hardy, and Hardy takes it out of bounds just beyond the 50 with 14 seconds on the clock.
Really quick decision and play call here to get when you get Drew Brown to let go of the ball and put it right where he put it for Hardy, so that he can look at the defense coming from their different angles. It seems like a small thing, but it's so important. If Hardy has to stop or bend backwards and takes his eyes off the defenders, he doesn't make that yardage. Now they got a chance for a field goal at the very least. Gotta hurry.
Back on the ground, Adeboboye pushes it over midfield. 10 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, interesting call to run the ball, because the clock will start as soon as they set the ball. Unless they call a timeout here.
Lewis Ward is long on the season. Is 50.
Quick out.
Clock ticks. Brown taking a little bit of time off of it there. Finds Gino. He goes down.
That'll be it.
Is there time on the clock?
I don't think it's in range anyway. You're right at the outside of the range.
Be about a 54-yarder. I thought there was a little bit of time left, but let's take a peek.
Well, he never really went down. I mean, look at the clock up in the right corner.
Right there.
1 second.
I don't know if his knee was on the ground because the whistle came when they were back in that right at the 50-yard line.
So there'll be 1 second on the clock. There will not be a field goal attempt. Would have been basically a 55-yarder. Well, Drew Brown maybe throw one up here, try to find the end zone.
So it is out of range.
Brown from the pocket, dumps it off over the middle. Adebaboye down to the 30, tries to bust through, and he's going to be stopped at the 20. But a very eventful first half here in Edmonton with 2 punt return TDs. Edmonton off to a great start. Ottawa hanging around. Justin Rankin got the party started. Seems like forever ago.
Yeah, good first drive for the Elks. They had a little bit of a scare on 3rd and 1 when almost didn't get it. Got it by a millimeter, and Rankin finished that drive off, got him going. That was 7-0 lead. They were up 22-3 at one point.
First touchdown of the season for Rankin. He stands by with Tom Gazzola.
Justin, how would you describe the start of that half and then the way you guys finish it off offensively?
Yeah, I mean, we started off, hitting all cylinders, all 3 phases. We're playing well together, and, we just got to keep that intensity through the whole game. We kind of came down a little bit, so we just got to get back going and limit mistakes.
Mark Killam talked about playing a complete game. What's it going to take on top of what you just said to make sure you guys put together a full 60 tonight?
Just staying together as a unit, believing as a team that, we're able to win, we're able to come over and come through adversity, and, just sticking together, playing for your brothers and believing in each other.
Justin, thanks for the time.
Yes, sir, appreciate you.
All right, that's Justin Rankin as the Elks are up by 5 at the half. Let's send it up to Kate and the panel.
Tom, that panel would be Enoch Mwamba and Paul Lapolice. We have another fantastic week.
Yes, we do.
I'm already saying it. This might be the best week so far of the CFL season. Lapo, I am so glad you are here tonight because I have some questions from a coaching perspective. And look, I understand that maybe going into a game plan, you have your backup quarterback, you have a little package that he's going in at some point. But Trey Ford was 9 of 9 at that point. Is there some instance where you deviate from the plan and say, no, we're going to keep the momentum going with our starter? Because I don't think that was the right decision.
I've done this before, and this was the thing Ken Miller wanted to do when we were together in Saskatchewan. Darian Durant was our starter, and what we did is we said at the start of the second quarter, Steven Giles goes in no matter what the situation is. Why? Because we wanted our quarterback at reps. Now, Cody's a veteran, so I'm not sure. Maybe they decided they were going to get a couple of reps to go through that process, but, if you're going to do that, you don't worry whether he's 9-9 or 0-9. Yeah. And that's maybe what's going on there. I'm not too sure. But you know what I see? I see really good execution on offense early, especially early on. A lot of good things. Watch this here. You get pressured. The RedBlacks pressured early on. Watch Trey get this ball here. You got 3 people downfield blocking, so that means it's going to be a behind the line of scrimmage throw. And those are easy throws for your quarterback. Get the ball out to Rankin, breaks a couple of tackles, makes people miss. But the execution early on, you heard Suits talk about it. So many good. You got some play actions. You got fake a play action, then run a screen pass. Once again, getting the ball in your playmakers' hands that are easy decisions for the quarterbacks. Another throw out to the flat. So, there's really good by Trey Ford. 11 of 12, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. See a little bit of a wrong way run, shovel pass right here. And, Edmonton came into this game with only 3 touchdowns. They've got 2. Looked really good. Now, the last thing I would say is these guys look really fresh, all three phases. Why? Because they played Thursday and Sunday, which is 10 days, almost like a mini bye in between the game, but they look really fresh, Enoch.
You know who else looks really fresh? Geno Lewis. And you can't tell me for 1 minute that he didn't have this game circled 19 times on his calendar. And look, maybe a little nervous, a little too much at some points. You know, we saw him obviously drop that one ball, but other than that, that touchdown, that celebration, we've seen a lot of raising the roof over the years. There's a little extra oomph in that.
Yeah, Kate, he wanted to come back and win this game. That's 100% guaranteed. So he comes in here and he struggles at the beginning. Really, this offense struggled a little bit, and he finally gets the ball because he wants to be the guy that is a catalyst for this offense, and he drops the ball a little bit here. But he made it up. He made up for it. You know, Drew Brown is really the guy that is getting this offense going, and maybe he's just getting rid of a little bit of rust from missing the last few games. You see here, he passes it to Geno Lewis, and it was such a great route as well, great break, and he doesn't make a mistake in the end zone. But Drew Brown looks like he's getting back into shape, and this is a guy that missed 3 games, and even though they struggled a little bit at the beginning of the game, and now they seem like they're hitting strides, this is the best this Ottawa offense has looked all year. Without Drew Brown, this offense is absolutely different, and you want to have this guy on there. So he's picking it up, and it's going to be a great second half.
We got to talk about special teams for just a minute here. And look, for the people at Save on Foods, I know that you've already handed out $1 million and kind enough to hand out another $1 million if that happens, 2 kick returns. What about 2 punt returns? I get that it happens a lot more often, but I'm thinking like a $250,000 at this point. But for Ottawa particularly, I mean, this was huge, and it was a big momentum one. And Devontae Dedmon, you know, great guy, unbelievable player. We certainly wish him the best.
Wish you the best, Devontae.
Yeah, he's
definitely
awesome. But the fact that it happened twice, Enoch, in the first half, I mean, this is why you love the CFL.
You love it. You love it. And these are 2 teams that are desperate for a win. And when you get teams like this, they'll do anything and everything. I love seeing the guys on special teams running.
This was almost a disaster at the end there, though. That would have been on a highlight reel forever.
And then you get Khalil Pimpleton. He gets the ball. He's zigzagging all over the field, left, right, and he's got guys that are running. They're believing in their returner. And this will happen just after the Dedmon injury, so perhaps something happened within the on the Ottawa side, and they're just energized, and they look like they really want to win this game. So it's going to be a great second half, Kate.
You keep promising that. It better happen.
Yeah, and I bet I can guarantee a lot of those guys are playing for Devontae Dedmon the rest of this game. You saw how he went off the field, so those guys are going to play their hearts out. Khalil Pimpleton is an amazing football player. I love watching him every time he gets touches.
I'm telling you this, though, Khalil is going to be exhausted at the end of this game. Hey, just go return every ball and then come back and get into your offensive form. Anyways, coming up after the break, I told you that it's been an amazing week 5. We got all the highlights coming up next. As promised, your Week 5 highlights, Bombers, Stamps, Thursday, first ever Stampede Bowl. Late in the first, Stamps up by 5. Zach Calaro is going to be picked off by Damon Webb. Damon Webb
straight to the house.
Does whatever a Damon Webb does. It's returned for a 30-yard pick 6, one of 2 Calaros' interceptions that were ran back for a touchdown. His first multi-pick game against Calgary since Week 6 of last season. The Stampeders win the Stampede Bowl, 37-16 your final. Tiger Cats taking on the Argos on Friday. Pick it up in the 3rd. Hamilton up by 12. Bo Levi Mitchell just going to heave this one up for guess who? Kenny Lawler. 3rd touchdown of the game. Lawler's first battle of the QEW. He goes off for a career-high 207 yards. He's averaging over 100 yards per game this season. He was lights out.
What a dream game.
What a dream. Lions, Owls, crazy finish to this one. Lions down 2, dying seconds. 3rd down, Nathan Rourke finds Katoy. Goes down with 0.2 seconds remaining. Sean White, 44 yards for the walk-off.
Let's go back to the plane.
No, we can't go to the plane yet. You know why?
Oh, it's a big fight.
Because there was a big fight. Kimoko, Toure, and Isaac Adiemi Berglund, they're going at it. Everyone comes over to break it up. BC, they stunning the Alouettes in Montreal. Okay, here it is. Week number 5. Here are your options. Was the best moment the walk-off kick that you just saw, the Stampede Bowl, which included Enoch's cow race, Kenny Lawler with a career night at BMO Field, or finally, Roy Leister The newest millionaire in Canada. Lapo?
I'm going to go say BC Montreal. You think about it. BC was out of that game. They scored a touchdown, 4 minutes left. Maltos, 30 seconds left, field goal. Katoy, 1 second left, walk-off field goal. Amazing.
There was a lot happening, but I got to go for 6 for 207. That's video game-like numbers.
That was incredible. That was just the connection of Bo and Kenny. And for the record, I'm going with Roy. Okay, St. Peter's taking on the Rough Riders Friday night from Regina. This should be a great one. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. And then it all continues on Saturday. RedBlacks taking on the Tiger Cats, and the Lions and the Elks wrap it up on Sunday. But we still have one more game to finish up week number 5. A phenomenal start by Edmonton, but Ottawa has come all the way back. We have a 22-17 ball game. Back to Commonwealth Stadium right after this.
Well, Edmonton leads 22-17. The RedBlacks, 6 of those 17 points coming from a Gino Lewis touchdown. He stands by with Tom Gazzola.
Gino, you come back, you score a touchdown in your return to Edmonton. Just how good does that feel?
It's a blessing, man. I just want to thank my God, my Lord Jesus Christ. And, you know, I do that for my grandma Helen at the end of the day, man. So I'm just grateful I was able to come out here and get a touchdown for my team.
Devontae goes down with a tough injury. Khalil makes a big play on that punt return touchdown. How much can you rally behind those things in the second half?
It's huge, man. You know, in this industry, it's always the next man up, and we got to play for the guy that goes down. So, you know, that's what we do. We're going to play for the guy that goes down, and we're going to keep taking it play by play.
Thank you, Gino.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Gino, 2 catches on 4 targets for 12 yards in that first half. Drew Brown, 147 yards and touchdown. Trey had 144 yards and 2. Couple of special teams touchdowns. Suits, I'm really not sure where this game goes in the second half.
Yeah, well, the Ottawa RedBlacks came storming back in that second quarter, and I agree with Enoch that it looked like Drew Brown was kind of finding his game again. And that quick release, the quick reads of the defense, getting the ball out of his hands. On the other hand, with Edmonton, are they going to play Trey Ford or make a substitution? And I just have to say, for the record, I was in the booth when Paul LaPolice put Stephen Giles out there. Didn't like that either.
Keelan White will get it started. Ottawa with the ball first. And White is tripped up. Tackle made by Mogensen. There is a flag on the field.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Edmonton, number 99. First down.
Silas Hubert, 99 on Edmonton. Killam not happy at all. And he's given it to the officiating crew, not necessarily a player that he would look to hold accountable. The play that came after, or a penalty rather, that came after the play ended is what we've been told. So it moves the ball up to the 46. They'll quickly get it out to Hardy. And there's a flag there as Hardy pushes it ahead just outside the 50.
Well, that entire Edmonton bench was yelling holding.
Ottawa, number 87, 10-yard penalty. We'll replay first down.
Well, that is Gino Lewis called for the hold.
A quick push to the flat, and Gino Lewis was trying to block the edge to give his teammate a chance to get out and around the corner. It's buying him. I'll put that in the questionable category.
Backs him up 10, though, 1st and 20. Big penalty here early in the third quarter. They'll clear out the backfield for Brown. He's got 4 options out to his left. Throws to his right, back to Lewis. And he'll take it up to the 44. Tackle made there by who else? Nick Anderson.
Just real quick recognition of the defense and what Drew Brown does well. See, watch how quickly he makes his decision here. He takes a look at the defense. He sees it's his own drops, and he knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball. Also, almost effortless. And for a team that is dying to get sacks on the quarterback like Edmonton is, it's almost impossible when the quarterback throws it that quickly.
9 to Gino, 2nd and 11 on the 45. And that one through the hands of the running back, Stanback. I'm not sure he would have been able to pick up the first down anyway. He would have needed about 8 or 9 yards after the catch, but got to haul this one in.
Now, we've seen it a couple of times tonight where you just don't take that split second to secure the ball first. Take a peek. It happens to the best of them.
There's Javon Leake. He's back, went to the room after taking back a 94-yard punt return. Did not return in the first half. This is a low kick. It's going to bounce at the 20. One hops out of bounds just inside the 15. Leake could never make a play on it.
By the way, we had 400 yards of return yards in the first half. But let's take a look at Trey Ford's first half. He started out with a touchdown drive and a couple of athletic plays. That was one of them, being tackled and still getting it out there to Dunbar. Real good play calling in that first quarter by Jordan Maksimic, who mixed up some screens, got Justin Rankin going, and Trey Ford started the game 9 for 9. That was a little underneath score. Actually, Trey started 10 for 10 in the first quarter and into that first half.
Starts here on his own 13, high snap, gathers it, in trouble, ball pops out, he's trying to get on it, but Ottawa takes it away, and Griffin's going to take it in for the touchdown. What a turn of events. RedBlacks go on top.
Well, Trey Ford saying that his arm was going forward. We'll take a look at it. I think it was Frankie Griffin that got the pressure. Griffin does, he's going to add into the blitz. Well, you be the judge. It looks like his arm was going forward, but it was like he was trying to regroup it, like pull it back. That's moving forward, but it was almost like he tried to grab it with the left hand and stop that forward motion to secure the ball. Heads up by Ottawa to continue on with the play no matter what this ruling will be. It'll be looked at by the replay center.
Mark Killam has his challenge flag out.
Well, they're automatically, it's a scoring play, so they're automatically going to review it.
I'm wondering, could he? Yeah. So look, I think Killam might be thinking about something else here, though. All right, we're going to get a ruling here, pre-Killam decision on a challenge.
Upon review by the replay center, the quarterback was down with contact prior to losing the football. Therefore, the ball will be placed on the 3-yard line, second down.
You say the quarterback was down prior to losing the football?
Yeah, they're saying that Trey Ford had control of the ball and was down by contact.
That can't be right. I mean, he wasn't. Yeah,
but
no, and now Killam's throwing his challenge flag.
Well, they want to just get it straight, although
there was miscommunication with the replay center. It was a fumble, but the Ottawa player was down with contact.
So it's Ottawa's ball
now,
on the 3-yard line.
Edmonton is challenging the previous play for roughing the passer.
Exactly.
The play will be reviewed by the replay center.
So this is where I wanted to bring up. That's what when I said he was looking at something else, if you watch the play, hands to the head of Trey Ford here, Killam's going to challenge for a roughing the passer call. Watch right here. Right there.
Oh, yeah.
That is going to be a roughing the passer penalty, I would think. All right, welcome back to Commonwealth. Here's one more look at it. They've challenged for roughing the passer. We've got a ruling ready to roll. Let's send it down to the field.
Upon review by the replay center, that was roughing the passer on Ottawa number 28. We're going to go up 15 yards from the 13-yard line and a first down for Edmonton.
What a swing. Well, it's sorted. We got it sorted out. Let's get it sorted out. It wasn't Trey Ford down by contact and second down for Edmonton. It wasn't a recovered fumble by Frankie Griffin that would have given Ottawa the ball. It was a roughing the passer, which clearly it was. Hands to the face, turned his whole helmet, basically almost took it off. So by definition, that's roughing the passer.
Yada, yada, yada. It's Edmonton ball at the 28. They'll hand it off. Straight ahead, Rankin again running hard here tonight. Takes it out beyond the 35.
Well, that's a major ruling and a major play that Ottawa would have, at worst, had it on the 3-yard line going in with a chance to take the lead. Now breathing room for Edmonton. Even if this drive stalls and they have to punt the football, the field position difference is massive, and it's a big run here after getting that all sorted out and working in Edmonton's favor.
9 yards on the ground to Rankin. Cody Fajardo in 2nd and 1, pushing it ahead. 2nd and a long one. I'm not sure he got there on this first crack at it.
Not getting much on short yardage. It's a couple times now that they're trying, and I don't think he got there.
I'm not sure he really picked up anything.
I still don't know why. I would just throw it out there one more time. Bit of a pet peeve that they don't just run regular offense, spread it out, have your receivers out there. You have to go cover them if you're defense.
3rd and inches. Sure. Fajardo trying to push ahead. Ottawa's going to say he doesn't have it. And is this a turnover on downs? If that's the spot, I don't think that's going to be enough. Call for the chains once again. If you missed it in the first half, very first drive, we saw a measurement and Edmonton got it by a matter of centimeters. Killam just shaking his head.
He doesn't think so. I think he's looking at it saying, he's right down the line. He's looking at it saying, I don't think he got there. That's his expression anyway.
And it is a turnover on downs. It wasn't even close. Half of a yard at least short. So you go 2nd and short, don't get it. 3rd and short, don't get it.
Well, again, look at, you bring all your offensive players in, and that brings all the defenders in, and now it's just my will against yours, who gets lowest and all that. We see every team does it. Why not leave the spread offense in there? You got to cover down every receiver so there's less people in the box, and take a gap and hit it. You still do quarterback sneak.
Ottawa's defense comes up big. White with the catch, nowhere to go. Serezna eventually there to finish him off. It's his first catch of the game.
I'll tell you something, though, for that Ottawa defense to let the ruling that happened inside the 5-yard line go and move on and play the next 3 downs full out, get the stop and the turnover on downs. That's resilience from that Ottawa defense, just letting that bad decision go.
Ottawa loses a yard, 2nd and 11. And now they, once again, way ahead of it. 3
Time
guys.
count violation, Ottawa number 5. 5-yard penalty.
Oh.
Still 2nd down.
And it's announced as a time count penalty. So it'll be 5 yards and back him up.
That had to be all go routes by the Ottawa receivers.
They were all gone.
It was all go routes, and they were so excited about that call that they hit the line, because I think all of them were offside.
2nd and 16 on the 43 for Brown. Over the middle. Up to the 35. Went back to Andre.
kind of a series of events that has turned out that a possible 3 points, very makeable field goal here for Ottawa, and that ruling could have really demoralized this team, and it didn't.
He hit from 42 earlier. This one also from 42. Left hash. That one is up, a low kick, but it's through, and we've got a very interesting 2-point game here in Edmonton to wrap week 5 in the Canadian Football League. Well, for over 20 years, along with the CFL and its member clubs, the Purolator Tackle Hunger Program has delivered over 25 million pounds of food to families in need. Go to PurolatorTackleHunger.ca to donate now. Grey Cup in attendance here today in Edmonton for the Purolator Tackle Hunger game. There are the remaining 4 stops, off to Regina, Winnipeg, and Calgary in August, and then the Hammer on September 1st. Be a big game on Labor Day. Edmonton leading by 2, was once 19. Start on their 40, they'll hand it off to Leak. He's got nowhere to go, spins ahead for a yard, maybe 2 on the play.
In that first half, Trey Ford threw all 12 passes basically. There was one that he was slightly outside of the pocket, but he threw 11 from within the pocket. And that one series where Jordan Maximic had the play calling going, where he had the reverse, and then a reverse that looked the same but was an underneath throw, and the screen was worked in there. One of the ways that they can maybe kickstart this offense is get Trey outside on the run.
Let's go deep. Needs 8 more yards here. It'll be an empty backfield. Now a little bit of help protecting Ford. Down the field, lays it out there. Was it caught? Oh my goodness! Javon Leak, how'd you do that?
He's going to get out of the backfield and just run that right down the hole. Blitz coming with Charlie Ringland playing to the far hash, the free safety. It's a man defense, so you got Frankie Griffin chasing. Basically called a cover 2 man. 2 high guys, but man-to-man underneath. Griffin was the man-to-man guy. Didn't have help over the top. 46-yard gain.
Now back to Leak on the ground this time. He'll pick up 2 after just a highlight reel catch. I don't know how this ball ended up in his arms.
Griffin needed some help, and because he's in a trail position. When you think you have 2 guys over the top playing for the deep ball, and they are basically free to play the ball, you want to be in the trail so there can't be the throw behind. So, I think Frankie Griffin played it well. But what a great catch by Leak.
Second trip to the red zone today for Edmonton. They came away with a touchdown first time through. Ford under pressure on the run to his right. Nowhere to go, but he escapes anyway. This is spectacular. Takes it down to the 15 and eventually is stopped short of a first down, but he made something out of nothing.
Starts with play action. And bails to the right, resets, doesn't like what he sees, and really doesn't have the time to get it down there anyway. Just another spectacular, ended up being, an 8-yard gain?
Darius Pickett stopped him short of picking up a first down. So Blanchard will come into the game. He's hit 5 field goals in a row. That'll be 6 as he puts it through, and Edmonton's lead jumps to 5 with just over 6 minutes remaining in quarter 3. Drew Brown about to get the ball back here in Edmonton. Let's flash it back. He picked up in week 1 where he left off last year, didn't he, Suits?
Yeah, really did. He's 34-41 for over 400 yards. 4 times now in his career he's done that, and didn't get the win in Saskatchewan. But it wasn't because he wasn't hitting his receivers.
3 consecutive 400-yard games for Drew Brown. Of course, a hiccup along the way with the injury. But gets the ball back, trailing by 5 here on his own 40. He'll move everybody over to the left. Under pressure, gets away again. Brown throws it ahead, and he was over the line of scrimmage when he threw that. The flags fly. He was about a yard over the line of scrimmage. I believe that's what this penalty is going to be.
Yeah, it's a forward pass, whether it's underhand or overhand or sideways like he did it. And it was across the line of scrimmage. So it'd be the illegal throw.
Hip's good, though. Like, he's escaped a couple of times tonight under pressure.
Yeah, he is. And, you know, he's got a ways to go to get to that 400 mark tonight. But there's still lots of time.
Illegal forward pass, Ottawa number 3. He was over the line of scrimmage. This is a 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
All right, so it'll be 10 yards. We'll replay first down.
So the 40 is the line of scrimmage. You can see that. Solid white line is the 40. And he's not just a yard or a step over. He's a couple of yards over.
So 1st and 20 now for Brown. That one too high for the intended target. Was looking for Justin Hardy. It comes up. We were talking about his 400-yard games. He's had 4 in his career in just 19 games. Here's the fastest to do it.
10 games for Jeff Garcia. Just look at the names on this list. David Archer in 16. Edmonton fans will remember David Archer. Drew Brown has done it in 19 games. There's Coach Dickinson in 20. And Doug Flutie in 22. One of those games in BC that year was an overtime game. That's quite a list. It's the type of passer that Drew Brown really is. And outstanding graphics work by our crew and by Steve Daniel helping out as well from the league office to get these numbers, how quickly they got the 400-yard passing games in.
Some good names on that list, too.
Look at the names. I mean, that's the top quarterbacks in this game. Drew Brown's on the list now.
Leone delivers it to Javon Leak. 51-yard kick. Leak with a little bit of a slip and could not get anything going that time. Tackle made down the field by James Peter. Trey Ford trying to expand on a 5-point third-quarter lead. All right, let's send it down to the sidelines for an injury update with Tom Gazzola.
All right, yeah, Dusty, we've got a bunch of things to get to here. First, on the Ottawa RedBlacks side of things, obviously Devontae Dedmon with that nasty injury. The team just saying, listen, he's out for the game. They're reassessing and evaluating that leg injury. So we know that he won't be back in the game. And then Charlie Ringland, DB for the RedBlacks, also out due to a hamstring injury. And then we've seen Javon Leak make his return. He fell and took a shot to his midsection on that punt return touchdown. So those are the updates, obviously more severe on the Ottawa side of things.
And Ringland, the starting safety for Ottawa, out of the game. And big for Edmonton to get Javon Leak back. This drive for Edmonton will start on their own 29. Giddens will move over in the slot to the right of Ford. Ottawa brings a little bit of pressure, far side. That's Dunbar again. And he gets a good chunk on first down. Dunbar with his 5th catch of the game. That's leading among Edmonton targets. Seven-yard pickup. for Dunbar from Ford there. High snap. They'll get it into the hands. And this is a huge hole for Justin Rankin. Rankin down to the 30, down to the 20. There goes that man. House call. Touchdown. Edmonton. 74 yards for Rankin.
No second level for Rankin. He hits the hole and is gone. There's great blocking up front. One cut and no second level. No linebacking core, no defensive backs back there. Everyone had come close to the line of scrimmage, and Rankin hits it.
Rankin, with his first 2 touchdowns of the season today, 1 through the air, that monster one on the ground. He's got 93 yards on 7 carries, 68 yards on 3 catches, and that one is up, and Blanchard does sneak it through. And the lead once again, Edmonton by 12.
Just some great acceleration in the open field, though, but linebackers got buried in the mix, up in the mesh. You see Javon Santos Knox, he was tied up, couldn't get off his block. Adrian Fry followed him 5 yards behind for the final 30 yards of this run. High snap that Trey Ford had to corral, but you can see just a wide open hole. Outstanding blocking up front.
You see him peeking at the monitor? He's peeking at the big screen, seeing how close or how much room he had on the run. That was a great shot.
Nothing like it.
Okay, but this isn't right. He doesn't look like he's breathing hard.
Hey, that boy looks fast a little bit.
Yeah, he looks fine.
It's a slider.
It's like full sprint for 40 yards or however long it was.
74. Keelan White, Pimpleton back to return this kick with 3.5 to play in the third quarter. That'll be kicked away from Pimpleton. White will take it on his own 15. Untouched to the 30, finds a little bit of space. Oh, and he was tripped up. He had something cooking there as well.
One more time to the touchdown. Let's give some credit here to Mark Corte and Gregor McKellar. The center blocked down, McKellar blocked down. Watch how they just open up this hole. Center and right guard, huge blocks here, create a pile, and Rankin just needs to hit that. The DBs are all up, and the hole is right there for Rankin.
161 yards of offense and 2 touchdowns. He's a fantasy darling today, is Rankin. Now there's a burst the other way, almost all the way up to midfield. Adebaboye with his best piece of work so far this evening.
Big boy's starting to root in there and just start paving the way for these running backs. Adebaboye into the secondary that time.
From the Ottawa 54, looking for a response here from Drew Brown. And he'll get it into the hands of Hardy, who turns it upfield, takes it down inside the Edmonton 50. Nice pickup on first down with Hardy taking care of business.
These kind of plays when you're running fly sweeps work really well when your running game is going, because you take your running back, you go off a left side, for instance, and then run the fly sweep the opposite direction.
Tommy Condell calling the offense here for the RedBlacks. Brown throwing this time. Over the middle. Gino! Did he hang on? That's incredible. He was spinning away from it. Managed to knock it down to himself for an 11-yard pickup.
It was Metier that from the safety spot right here that's going to jump this crossing route. Well, actually, it isn't. Is that Cordell? Cordell Jackson, I believe, who cuts underneath that. But look at the concentration. Stick with it. I thought that was going the other way.
Adeboboye up the middle, close to the Edmonton 35. 3-yard pickup. 2nd and 7 incoming here for Ottawa. Drew Brown's 19 to 25. 192 yards and a touchdown. Both quarterbacks looking after the football today through the air. Lots of big plays on special teams. Big plays on the ground. Leading to 52 combined points already late in the 3rd. Pimpleton was early again. Brown's going to throw it down the field, and it's incomplete. I'm pretty sure Khalil Pimpleton was ahead of the play.
Whenever we do our Zooms, I like to talk to both quarterbacks, and when we do, I always ask them about their feelings about the other quarterback, the one they're facing.
Number 83, that penalty's declined. It will be 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd down, they'll kick a field goal or attempt one here. But ask Trey Ford about Drew Brown, and he said, you know, he throws the cutter so well. Now, that's terminology can change from one team to another, but the cutter is that Justin McInnes bender route. That's what he attempted on that. Was a little high on that last throw. But Trey Ford said, I think Drew Brown throws the best cutter route in the entire league.
He's made 2 from 42, this one from 43, and he'll make that as well. Lewis Ward makes it a 9-point game.
That first quarter, you think that the Elks must have felt like this was their night, and yet Ottawa is just hanging around. And that's what you want to do on the road. It's not the end of the day to be down. Here we go. Cody Fajardo's getting another series.
Cody Fajardo, after a touchdown drive, has now come into the game. Low-key, what is happening?
I think you're...
Fajardo throwing. And there's Julian Grant.
I think you were building content for your show this week.
Yeah, it'd be something to talk about tomorrow morning on the Nielsen show. That's fair. Yeah, fascinating decisions here. We'll have to get to the bottom of it after the game. This had to have been the plan all along.
Yeah, it was clearly planned. Clearly planned, because at the time in the first half, Trey Ford was 9-9, and it was 22-3 Edmonton. I mean, why you would do anything to mess with that type of momentum, I'm not sure.
Starting quarterbacks 13 of 14 today. Fajardo dumps it off. That's Rankin, took a heavy blow from Griffin. But that'll be a 2-and-out at the end of the quarter. Fajardo's 4 of 4, but it's 2 2-and-outs. Ottawa hanging around. Edmonton leads 32-23. Fourth quarter should be entertaining. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Commonwealth, where Edmonton is looking to pick up a rare victory. They lead 32-23 through 3 quarters, but they've got us talking about some quarterback management here, don't they?
Yeah, clearly this was pre-planned, and they're going to put Cody Fajardo in, and this has nothing to do. It's no reflection on Cody Fajardo, but let's take a vote right here. Put your hand up, everyone in the room, if you like this idea. I'm sure the studio, we'll see, we'll get the count from the studio as well. And, you know, sometimes, yeah, I get it, and I've seen it before, and Coach LaPolice talked about it at halftime, that he's actually done it. And, you know, the reason is change of pace sometimes, and Cody is certainly a veteran, but at 22-3 when they did it the first time, it seemed to snap their momentum. It seemed to take a little wind out of the sail there. And has it done the same thing here?
Oh, we're about to find out. It's a 2-and-out, high kick. Pimpleton takes it, and he is wrapped up immediately. Tyson Middlemost the field, smothering Pimpleton.
First, it starts with a nice directional kick. Get him close to that numbers, or ideally inside the numbers in the sideline, but real good coverage by Middleman.
Ton of time left in this football game. Drew Brown closing in on 200 yards. Trails by 9, starts this drive on his own 17. They'll start it on the ground. And Stanback wrapped up in the middle of that defense by Brinkman.
Hey, you see what a special teams play. We've seen the returns. We've seen 2 tonight. Over 400 yards of return yards tonight. And then we see a big cover team play by the Edmonton Elks. And the momentum carries over to first down for the defense. Because that's the best they played the run all night.
Just a yard for Stanback, 2nd and 9 for Brown. Has White, turns it back upfield, and he's got a first down. Great job by the rookie to find that first down after making the catch.
Well, nice protection up front, and the calm, cool veteran and Drew Brown steps into this out throw. How good is that? Nice throwing lane. Good protection up front there. No blitz. But
Brown, deep drop in the pocket, over the middle. Gino's upended, but he hangs on just outside the 50. Cordell Jackson got him.
that's the cutter.
And there's a flag on the play.
That's the cutter route that Trey was talking about when he watches Drew Brown.
21 yards to Gino Lewis.
Might be a defenseless receiver hit low. See how they sort this out.
It's likely what the discussion is right now. Replay center communicating with Andre.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Edmonton number 13. On a vulnerable receiver. This will be a 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play and a first down.
It's a new rule this year, and this is that cutter route we're talking about right into the seam. And just as it clears the first level of linebackers, this is where Drew Brown just is so good at throwing that throw. Now, the idea is, does the receiver have time?
Handed off on the far side. Good burst there, and another first down for Hardy. Let's go back to that Gino play.
Yeah, does the receiver have time to gather himself and be able to defend himself on a hit? And if he doesn't have time, then it's now against the rules to go low. And it's a player safety decision and a player safety change with player safety in mind. Now, do you think that Gino Lewis could have recovered? And that was super slow-mo too. It happened a lot faster in real time. So that's a new rule, and that's the first time I've seen it called this year.
The ball now sits on the Edmonton 33. Brown gets it out to Pimpleton. Can he find some space? Stays on his feet. And eventually, they'll gang tackle him just inside the 30. Kobe Williams got some help on the play.
I think Kobe Williams got him twice. Broke the first time and got him the second.
Field goal here would make it a 6-point game.
Yeah, so 2 possessions and the field goal is equally as important.
Stanback stays in to the left of his quarterback for now. And they'll give it to him. Has some space up the middle. First down, Ottawa takes it down to the 20 as the RedBlacks march on.
Stanback could tell by the linebacker action here that he knew exactly where he was going to take this inside handoff. If the linebacker fills the backside B gap, he's going front side. Pre-snap read.
Shoots one over the defender, almost into the hands of Hardy. Williams got a piece of it. I think Hardy had a bit of a shot at it.
Hardy's the intended target. There's 4 out there. That's quads to the wide side of the field. Hardy's right at the line of scrimmage. Just looks like he's going to block on a screen, then goes in behind. Kobe Williams has a chance at it. But when you haven't got an interception this season, you start to fight the football like it's not your friend.
And we're not talking about him. We're talking about the team.
The entire team does not have one.
They do not have an interception, that Edmonton defense. Brown with pressure in his face, dumps it away, and it's incomplete to Stanback. So some pressure there, forcing the issue for Brown, and they'll trot out Lewis Ward, and he will attempt to make it a 6-point ball game.
Yeah, that's good stop by the Elks, and a nice decision right out there by Stanback. I think it was Cordell Jackson that was closing on Stanback, and rather than hit him and give the refs any opportunity to call a penalty there, he got out of the way.
28-yard attempt from Ward. And once again, steady as she goes. He's got 4 today. RedBlacks trail by 6. All right, let's flash it back to the second quarter. 2 punt return touchdowns. This one, 94 yards from Javon Leak. Almost got caught napping at the end here, though.
Yeah, he did. Thought he was home free at the 10-yard line. And then Pimpleton.
97.
He matches a little bit later on in the game. Over 400 yards and a half in returns. And the cover teams have been better in the second half.
They have, so far.
So far.
Just under 11 minutes ticking on the clock here at Commonwealth. After the field goal, Edmonton, of course, starting on their own 40. 6-point lead. On the ground. And lunging over a tackler, that's Javon Leak getting some touches. That's his 4th carry of the ball game, and a big catch in the half here, a 46-yarder. And of course, that return touchdown we just showed you. So he's touching all parts of the Edmonton offense in this one. Very good 1-2 punch at running back. Rankin and Leak. 2 different styles of back, but both with speed to burn. 2nd and 7 on the 43. Ford. Deep shot. Down the field. Julian Grants can't get there, but there's a flag on the play. He was working against Adrian Fry, but that PI flag came out quickly.
Yeah, Adrian Fry is going to get tangled up.
Pass interference. Ottawa number 22. The ball will be placed where the infraction occurred. First down.
See how he starts to stumble at the end? When the ball is about to arrive, he's stumbling into the receiver, and that's why the flag is thrown. There's no question that's pass interference. Looked a little bit early. Lost his composure right at the end.
Ball placed on the 29 after the penalty. Six on the line for Edmonton. Leak can't find a hole. Back to the line of scrimmage, no further.
Good decision here from Trey Ford. It's going to be important because that field goal in this position equally as important as trying to score the major here.
Yeah, that penalty was huge.
Exactly.
Put
field goal range.
Instant field goal range to possibly regain a 9-point cushion.
Quarterbacks, you'll hear this before, but their decision-making process, mental and physical toughness, and accuracy. 3 most important aspects of quarterback play, and his decision-making is going to be huge here.
2nd and 9 for Ford. Pump fake. Now dumps it off. Heavy hit. Ouch.
Santos Knox, I believe, closed quickly. He read that.
Arkell Smith on the receiving end of this pop.
Yeah. It was a great read by Santos Knox, the veteran. He just steps into that. So no decision on that play, by the way. That's a play that's designed for Trey Ford just to look the opposite way and then get it out there in a little swing. Safe throw, but Santos Knox read it.
So Blanchard called into duty. He's hit 6 in a row. And after missing his first 2 to start the season, this one straight away 35 for a 9-point lead. It is up and it is through. Edmonton trying to nurse this one home. Ottawa with other ideas on a Sunday night. Drew Brown about to get the ball back here at Commonwealth. We're talking about his 400-yard games. Highest percentage of starts to throw for 400 plus. Smaller sample size than these guys, but good company to be a part of.
Yeah, it's quite the list. And matter of fact, Kent Austin, when he was coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, was the guy who told me about those 3 aspects of playing the quarterback position.
It all ties together, doesn't it? Brown out in the flats. Goes back to Hardy. 9-yard pickup. 4th catch of the game for Hardy on 7 targets.
But you think about it, mental and physical toughness, because at times you got to take the hit to get it out there, and certainly mental toughness.
2nd and 1. Drew Brown keeps it, pushes it ahead. Ottawa first down.
You know, mental toughness to make sure you bounce back from that interception or whatever may happen in a negative way against your team. But then accuracy, obviously, that's a physical trait that you got to have as a starting quarterback at this level. You got to be able to put the ball where you want. And decision making. I think that may be the most important. Where are you in the game? Are you behind, ahead? You know, at home, on the road? The decision-making process, where are you going to go with the football?
Pimpleton and Hardy move to the right of Brown. On the ground this time, Adeboboye up to midfield. 2nd and manageable on this crucial drive for Ottawa.
Yeah, it's important, but there still is lots of time left. And, you know, Drew Brown really doesn't have to rush it. He can call the plays. They can run their offense, if that includes the run game here, too. That's fine. It's a 2-possession game. You need 1 field goal and then a converted major. So they're going to need a stop from their defense.
Smack dab, middle of the field. 4 options out to the right. He'll let it go to his running back, and he is stuffed. Edmonton's defense all over it. Nick Anderson leading the way.
Well, I don't think it's a stretch to say this has been the best game for the Edmonton defense, even though Drew Brown has put together some drives. This has been the first time this year that in key moments of the game that they have come up with a play, and they've done that a couple of times now. Still looking for their first interception. Still haven't taken the ball away as much as they'd like.
Barlow started that one. Anderson finished it. 47-yard kick taken out of bounds by Javon Leake. Defense needs more of tackles like this. Barlow got him and hung on, and Anderson came to help him out. Well, Justin Rankin, 162 total yards of offense. 2 huge plays here.
Yeah, this one just a little swing pass out of the backfield against a blitz, and Rankin takes it to the end zone. This was over 70 yards, and what was really bugging me about this one is that we followed him all the way to the bench. He sat down and wasn't even breathing hard.
Out for a leisurely jog. There he is. A couple of touchdowns, his first 2 touchdowns of the season. And Edmonton has the ball again, leading by 9, and they will start it on the ground with Rankin.
Grinds a clock, but there's still lots of time, and Will Fields, the new defensive coordinator for the Ottawa RedBlacks, you know, is going to have to maybe get to that exotic blitz, put a little more pressure on his secondary to play one-on-one coverage, man-to-man coverage behind it, but take all the run lanes away from number 2.
Empty backfield, 3 left, 3 right for Trey Ford. Ottawa sends 5. Ford gets it away. Julian Grant's
now
going to be stopped a yard short.
Yeah, now we know what's gone on in short yardage for Edmonton.
But you got to kick this away. Right? You have to kick this away.
And their yard, and it's a full yard, so there's no question. Yeah, Mark Killam's going to kick it. Now, had they made both
earlier,
convincingly earlier, what do you think?
I'd still kick it.
Yeah, so would I. But I'm wondering, if they make them convincingly, do they go back to it with just a yard to go?
Now, really good field position looming here. Pimpleton.
Yeah.
He was moving around. Now he's going to back up. He was at midfield. He's going to trot back to at least his own 40, if not further.
Now, ball placement for this kick from Cody Grace is important. That ball you want to get right to the sideline if possible without kicking it out of bounds.
I believe Bob Dice having a conversation with the officials, and I'll just be honest, not exactly sure what this one's about. Maybe just resetting the clock. Is this just a clock issue? I don't know what else it could be, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it must be trying to add some time to the...
Andre Prue, our referee, in communication with the replay center. Drew Brown stays warm on the sideline, knowing that he's going to get another crack to cut in to this 9-point deficit.
Timer, please. Timer, please reset the game clock to read 4 minutes and 31 seconds. 4:31.
So Coach Dice asking for that extra 11 seconds back on. Let's see if that is important.
Are we talking with 7 seconds left? Like, Suits, do you remember? They added 11 seconds.
They added 11.
We'll see. Cody Grace now ready. Kicking this away from his own 15. Pimpleton takes it just inside the 40, a 47-yard kick. Pimpleton, nowhere to go. Thought about trying to kick it to the far side, turned it back in, and Edmonton downfield with the special teams tackle.
Cover lanes. Don't get out of your lane.
Logan Jr. and Bonhomme making the play. Good field position, though, for Ottawa. This drive will start on their own 44. Just over 4 minutes to work, but they're down 9 here on the road, looking to avoid a 1-4 start. Brown, tight window, can't get there. Looking for Hardy, just missed him.
Now Hardy out in that slot back spot. More of a dig route than the cutter that they were talking about, but he's just going to kind of curl inside, and Drew Brown tried to throw him more to the middle. And that deep curl.
Huge second down here for the visitors. Brown's 22 of 33. Gets it away. Gino Lewis, can he make something here? And he'll be stopped at least 3 yards short. First down.
I'm telling you, I'm still kicking it.
3.5 minutes.
I'm still kicking it. They probably won't.
They aren't.
But I've seen deficits greater than this made up in the final 3 minutes, let alone outside of the 3-minute warning.
Third down, huge 3 yards needed for Brown. Number 3 on the run to his right. Still going, gets it away. Tackle made. Turnover on downs. Kobe Williams read the play, made the play.
Well, Well, Drew Brown didn't like what he saw originally, and that pressure off the edge was enough to get him out of the pocket. Once he's out there now, he's cut the field in half. He only had a couple of options once he rolled out that hard. Miller was really the only viable option, gave it to him, but it was short.
Big package in for Edmonton. And a loss on this one as Rankin forced back by Pickett. Less than 3 minutes to go here in Edmonton as Mark Killam looks for his first victory as a CFL head coach. Well, week 5 is going to be a tough one to follow, so best of luck to week 6. Stampeders and Riders on Friday in Regina. RedBlacks right here tonight will be in Hamilton on Saturday, and then Edmonton at home again next Sunday, same time, same place, different opponent. BC Lions will be in town.
A CFL fan in week 5 is $1 million richer.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It is really exciting.
And Sean White just gets older and older, but keeps making huge kicks.
Like fine wine. And we shared a glass before.
2nd and 14. Ford hit as he throws, finds Dunbar. There's a flag for the heavy hit on Trey Ford. It was Frankie Griffin. Ford's giving him the gears.
The passer, Ottawa number 28. It's going to be 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play and a first down.
Second roughing the passer on Frankie Giffen, and both right in the head, and both impactful in this game. Both those penalties. Remember the other one down inside the 5?
Yeah. Huge turnover that would have been Ottawa ball on the 3. Instead, it moved it up and out of harm's way.
Now you can run twice, kick a field goal, and you need 2 majors to win instead of a field goal and a major converted.
Work from the Ottawa 32. Rankin again, almost busts that one. Touchdown saver from Santos Knox. Would have been a hat trick for Rankin. It is a 100-yard day, though, for number 5 in green and gold.
Full running offense now, just trying to grind the clock and maintain possession of the ball, trying to finish this one off, get their first win. And a little stumble, or I think Rankin kicks into his 6th gear.
You're right, there was a little stumble there coming through the gap. Back to him again. Flag this time as he takes it down to the 15. Hundred-yard day for Rankin.
Holding Edmonton, number 59. 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
Back him up, it'll be a 1st and 20.
Penalty does stop the clock, but Elks in field goal range now.
Edmonton does not have a win in June or July since 2022. Rankin. Hard run. Took some punishment. Gets it back to about the Ottawa 25.
Yeah, we mentioned it off the top, and both teams really needing a win here in this one tonight, but no more than Mark Killam's Edmonton Elks. Now, the last 3 years, or whatever the total is,
timeout, Ottawa,
that they've struggled to start the season was not on Mark Killam, and it wasn't on this group of players either. But you still wear it. It's still that perception that the Elks can't stop digging the hole. Defense was underachieving. it's come on tonight. I think it's been their best game, top to bottom, and made key plays. They're still looking for their first interception, but made some key plays at key times. I was trying to think of a team that needed to win more in the last 10 years, this early in the season, than Edmonton, and I couldn't come up with one.
Well, I mean, it would have been Edmonton each of the last 2 years.
Last year, but not even because of the accumulation of those years. It's more now.
Want a fresh start now.
Yeah, a fresh start, different quarterback, new coach, young coach that had a new message and all of those things. And, you know, they're still sort of...
Get ball.
Blanchard will come out. This will be smack dab down the middle from 35. 2 for 2 tonight, 7 in a row.
I would have punted.
You would have punted?
I would have punted back. No, not here.
Oh, no, I was going to say, wait a second. What?
No.
You're nuts.
No, Ottawa.
Earlier, Ottawa,
yes,
yeah.
Ottawa.
With 3.5 minutes left. Blanchard puts it up. That one cuts the uprights. Right down the middle. And the lead is once again 12. Talked about Edmonton and their struggles early seasons. 0-3, 0-9, 0-7, 0-3 again this year.
Yeah, I mean, and again, Mark Killam is not part of any of that. But you were looking for this big change and new look, new GM, new coach. Spent some money in free agency, bringing in a bunch of defenders that were underachieving, and I just couldn't think of a team that needed to win more than this team at this point in the regular season.
We chatted with Ed Hervey when we were leaving Winnipeg, and you know, I said, what do you think of the start? And paraphrasing, he just said, we're not worried. And we expected it to be a bit of a slow start with so many changes, but he said he really liked where the team was heading. And he stands on the sideline tonight watching as his club a minute and 18 seconds away from getting into the win call.
And watching and looking at some of those guys on his own bench and saying, there's some superstars over there.
Oh, jeez. You had to, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Had to.
There's no question.
Well, Rankin and Leak played like it tonight. I mean, Rankin,
absolutely.
And Leak on special teams.
Come on. They're all over the place.
Huge kick into the end zone. Pimpleton will grab it. And he'll take a knee. We've got an injury out at the 30. And that is DK Bonhomme, who's had a nice season on special teams.
Oh, just kind of tripped on his own and maybe caught a cramp.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like they're trying to stretch him out, yeah.
He's been one of their more effective special teamers so far this year. So Edmonton will be home again next week against the BC Lions, which all of a sudden becomes a pretty big game with BC picking up a win this week.
How about that Calgary game?
Yeah, that's a huge game. Calgary wins that, they go to 4-1. Saskatchewan would go to 4-1 at the top of the West. Jammed up.
J.C. Sherritt can have a good night's sleep for the first time all season. Just an outstanding football player. But if the defense was going to continue to play the way they were playing with the free agency signings they had, guys like Jake Ceresna, Robbie Smith, Royce Metier, all Grey Cup champions, and they just weren't getting it done, then you know the pressure starts shifting more and more towards the coach. What's happening there in the X's and O department?
His first time as a DC.
First time as a DC, yes. Sometimes great players aren't great coaches, but I think J.C. Sherritt will be one and is one, and we'll get a good night's sleep tonight.
There's Geno Lewis again. Tackled at the 45. Geno Lewis, team high 7 catches, 60 yards and a touchdown in his return to his former stomping grounds.
And I think for Ottawa and their RedBlack fans, Drew Brown is back. We saw enough from him tonight to see this past that injury.
Positive signs, I would think, from Drew.
Yeah. But he got off to a slow start because of coming back off the injury. I think that was, it always takes a little bit, and it was that first quarter. They were down 22-3 at one point. And he started putting drives together. So they got their starter back, and he looks healthy.
Brown has that one batted away from the intended target, Andre Miller. And Edmonton close to finishing this one off. Still be a lot of talk about Cody Fajardo coming in for a few series along the way. Less of a talk now because they did pick up the victory. Interesting strategy nonetheless.
I'd like to know what the vote was in the panel on that.
Trips to the right for Brown, throws to the left. Oh, that looked like it hurt. Hardy seems to be okay. Got folded up. That was Bynum celebrating with former halfback Aaron Grimes on the sideline. Whoa. Killam's fired up. Third and 10 for Drew Brown. Last gasp here for the RedBlacks. Deep drop down the field, and he's got a man inside the 30. Found a spot in that defense and put it in the hands of Keelan White.
And that's what I mean for Ottawa fans. You're not going to win this one, but that throw alone shows you that your quarterback's back. I mean, the Elks are sitting back there waiting for this. There's 4 defenders around that throw, and he dropped it in the bucket. Wow.
Not going to get to 400, but closing in on 300. Lewis broke one tackle, and he's thrown back. Garnes is in there. Touchdown here, onside kick, recover and take it back, you know?
Well, you got it.
There's your recipe.
Hey, you know what league we're covering here? It can happen. It can happen. Now throw it to the end zone here.
He doesn't. Drops it off to Adeboboye, who hops his way close to out of bounds.
You know, if you're thinking of that scenario, you just had to get it to the end zone there, but
300-yard game for Brown in his return. But Ottawa on the verge of dropping to 1-4. Under pressure, out to his right, clock ticks, guns it towards the end zone, and a touchdown, Ottawa. Andre Miller, third of his career, 10 seconds on the clock.
He was a deep route, so scramble drills means he comes back towards the line of scrimmage, and toe inbounds. Officials real decisive there. They ran back. I could hear him on the sideline mics saying, no, that's a touchdown.
Lewis Ward to make it a 6-point contest. Puts it through. And I know Edmonton has lost in some weird ways at home and in general over these poor starts. But this would be something else.
Well, here it is. The hands team that Mark Killam is now former special teams coach for all those years in Calgary. He is now putting together the hands team. I mean, they already know who's on it. But you'll see there'll be receivers in the second row. That's the onside kick team. Coach Rick Campbell back in Ottawa. There will be some big boys out there too that can run on the onside kick team, and the job they have is just to try to run and cause chaos so that one of the receivers / DBs can tip it out of bounds, be the last to touch it going out. But in this case, with the time on the clock, it's almost as if they're going to try to catch it and maybe keep going.
10 seconds on the clock. Lewis Ward on the short kick. Lays it up there. Mathis goes up and hauls it in. 6'7", Zach Mathis, tallest guy on the field, does his job, and Edmonton will indeed come out on top. Killam victorious for the first time.
Boy, that onside kick was almost perfect placement. It has to go 10. It went just 10 or 15, and then nice and high. There was RedBlacks around it, but Mathis comes up with it. Win one for Mark Killam.
Trey Ford takes a knee. Killam after an 0-3 start. Able to find his way into the win column, and a salute to the crowd here in Edmonton. The Elks have won in July for the first time since 2022. Gatorade shower for the first time. Winner is a head coach. Where do these two teams go from here, Suits? What do you think?
Well, you never know. Edmonton could get some momentum here. Trey Ford gets his first win of the season as the #1 guy, although Cody Fajardo was on the field in this one as well. So Drew Brown looks like he's back physically. Ottawa has got their starter back in the lineup.
Drew Brown finishes 31 of 43, 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, looked after the football, but it was not enough tonight. Couple of punt return touchdowns, highlighting this one, a huge game from Justin Rankin. And in the end, Edmonton gets on the board with their first win of the season. It comes at home, where they will once again play a week from today against the BC Lions. 39-33, your final. Thank you very much for joining us at Commonwealth Sports Center's next.
Welcome into Sports Center. That's Jermaine. I'm Wes. A back and forth affair there between the RedBlacks and the Elks. These were the last two teams to crack 100 points in the CFL. And I want to shout out our Calgary ties, because I'm sure Edmonton is looking at the Stampeders' success thinking, we should be the ones bouncing back this season.
Yeah, exactly. And Edmonton couldn't afford to fall back any further, especially the way that Calgary and BC are playing right now. So, yeah, The Elks fans, they saw something they haven't seen in a long time. First quarter, Trey Forward finds Justin Rankin out of the backfield, and Rankin does the rest. He takes it 45 yards for the TD. Elks score a touchdown on their opening possession for the first time this season. Now in the second, Elks up 15-3, looking to avoid an 0-4 start for the third straight season. And Javon Leake on the punt return dances around, and he's off to the races. Leake takes it 94 yards for the house call, extends the lead to 19, and he is exhausted. Meanwhile, Eugene Lewis signed with Ottawa in the offseason, leaving Edmonton, and Elks general manager Ed Hervey was asked about a superstar leaving.
Talked about him as a great route runner.
He's a superstar player. Can you give us some insight into the thought process of not wanting him in Edmonton?
I don't know any superstar players in the CFL.
I don't care about if you don't want me on the team. I don't really care if you don't think I'm part of the plans. It's just about the principles. And I am a certain type of player in this league. Whether it's a superstar, a star, or all-star, I'm some type of star in this league, however you want to put it.
As well, stand back in it, running back. Brown waits from the pocket, goes to the end zone. Who else? Of course, Gino raises the roof in his return.
Gino Lewis burns his former team, his first touchdown catch since week 1. In the CFL, Ed Hervey came strong there. Now in the third, Elks only up 5, and on second and short, Justin Rankin takes a handoff, finds a hole, and nobody's gonna catch him. He takes it all the way for the 74-yard house call, his second TD of the day. Elks take the 12-point lead, and they take it 39-33. All right. This is just Edmonton's second home win against the RedBlacks since 2021. Edmonton pick up their first win of the season. It took them all the way until week 9 of last season for them to pick up their first victory. Ooh, that's a long time. And Khalil Pimpleton's punt return TD was the second of his career. The 97-yard return was the second longest return touchdown of his career. For more, let's go to Kate in the panel.
And alongside Enoch Mwamba and Paul LaPolice, and congrats to Edmonton. I mean, for those fans getting win number 1 on the season, that was monstrous. But Lapo, we got to start with the decision by the Elks in this game. And look, you mentioned as a coach you had done this before, but it was in very different circumstances. We saw Trey Ford come out in this game. He was 9 for 9, but then all of a sudden Cody Fajardo was in. And yes, it may have been pre-planned, but it almost seemed like it broke momentum a little bit. So we said, okay, in the first half, it was what it was. And then in the second half, it happens again. So what is the thinking behind this, in your opinion?
So I'll review what I talked about at halftime. So I had done this with Ken Miller years ago, and we were playing a young quarterback, which is different than Cody Fajardo. And we said, hey, we need him to he's going to have to play in the game, so we're going to put him in. So he went in the second quarter, irregardless of what your starter had done. And that was to get players reps, a young player a rep, because we needed to play multiple players. Cody Fajardo's different. He's a veteran football player. Now, the other reason I would think about why you would play 2 people, Kate, is because you're going to play 2 different systems. Call it Zach Collaros and Chris Streveler. You're going to put a guy in who can run the ball differently, create different issues for a defense. But that really wasn't when Cody went in the game. It looked like very similar to what you saw from the starting quarterback. So I'm not really sure. Obviously, they had some type of plan, but normally it's to either screw around with the defense with different looks or getting young guys, but neither of those scenarios kind of played out.
Coach, and I would only add to the fact that as a player, you never want to spend your time like this. And Trey Ford wasn't happy last year when it was happening with McLeod and him. And so Ed Hervey comes in, ships McLeod to Montreal. You bring in a new guy, and you kind of see the same scenario happening as well. So, yes, you're talking about a team that's been struggling. They were 0-3 coming into this week. And I'm sure, like you mentioned, they talked about it the week leading up to this game. But you come into this game and he's playing so well. Why would you want to mess with his psyche, mess with his rhythm is really the question that you want to ask, especially for a guy who needs all the reps that he can get. And finally, when you watch this game, you see that this offense actually looks like it's built now for Trey Ford. He wasn't just sitting in the pocket and struggling like we've seen at the beginning of the season. Now you saw a lot of different plays, reverses and run game that really worked well. And so why not use more of those plays to get him even more comfortable? That will be my question to Coach Gillum, and we'll hear his answer.
Yeah,
sure.
and I like your point. Like, you know, Trey Ford hasn't played a lot of football. Get him as many reps as he needs to keep playing when they're playing well. It's good. Hats off to Mark Gillum, get his first win, good win. Good job.
And you know what, that's the thing too. That's the silver lining. Obviously, they did end up with the victory, and for Mark Gillum, just a great guy in the CFL, and it was wonderful seeing this finally, getting the Gatorade shower, his first victory as a head coach. We'll see how they fare next week against the Lions.
New on SC, he just got his first win as a head coach, Mark Gillum.
Mark, you got your first win as a CFL head coach. How does that Gatorade taste?
Oh, it tastes damn good, brother.
What did you like from your team? I know it was a bit weird in that third quarter, fourth quarter. I'm sure you liked the way your team locked it down.
Yeah, I mean, it took their guts. I mean, we talked about it at halftime. The game was there to take, but it's going to take everybody in that room, and we're going to have to keep laying it on the line, and they did. I'm so proud of them.
Hey, you talked about 3, 4, maybe 5 plays a game or difference makers. Which ones stand out to you tonight?
Geez, I have to think about it, but, you know, that big shot to Leak was big. Obviously, the punt return was big. I'm just really proud of our defense, man. They've been taking a lot of heat in the media, and they stood up tonight, and they stood tall.
Mark, congratulations.
Thank you.
He had 212 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns. New on SC, Trey Ford.
Trey, I know you talked about the ups and downs of practice this week. You threw at home for a couple of hours by yourself. How would you describe the way you guys came out tonight?
I thought it was good, right? I think we came out our first 2 drives and scored. I think we got a little stagnant there in the second quarter and then even a little bit into the third. But then we were able to score some points again. And it was also nice for Rank to take that one right down the middle. Made my job easy. But I thought we pulled together in the fourth and came out and got a win.
How about getting the first win for your head coach, his first in the CFL?
Yeah, I mean, it's big for him. I mean, you know, he's a great coach. He's somebody that you want to play for. So big shout out to him.
Thanks for the time, Trey.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And here's a look at Week 6 in the CFL, powered by FanDuel. Saskatchewan is a 4.5-point favorite at home against the Stamps on Friday Night Football. The Riders have the best record in the CFL at 4-0. Then the Ticats have won 2 in a row. They're a slight favorite at home against the RedBlacks on Saturday. New on SC, he had 105 yards on 12 carries. Edmonton running back Justin Rankin.
It felt good. You know, I think we were long overdue for that. You know, we've been busting our butts, you know, week in and week out since camp. So to be able to come out with a dub and be able to finish, you know, and not fold, you know, really fight for that, it felt good.
A couple of huge plays by you, a couple of touchdowns tonight. Tell us what you saw as those were as they were going.
I mean, I think it was just all the guys just working. You know, I mean, not every run was a big run. You know, some of them were tackled for losses, some of them were 2, 3, 4 yards, and you know, then we popped a big one. You know, that just shows the mental fortitude of everybody out there continuing to do their job. You know, play in, play out. You know, regardless of the outcome.
Talk about your O-line tonight, opening up some of those holes.
Oh, yeah, they amazing. I might have to take them out to eat or something, you know what I mean? They're huge, man. You know, I love those guys. I talk to them every day, so, you know, they always let me know, like, come on, like, this is the play, this is the play. Every single play, you know, they're telling me, like, this is the play, this is going to be the one, and then, you know, until it is. So, you know, I just appreciate them, you know, always believing in me and, you know, continuing to work for me.
A couple of big plays from you and Javon tonight. Healthy competition, maybe?
Come on, Thunder and Lightning. You ain't never seen nothing like it. I'm telling you. No, it's amazing. Like I always say, you know, stemming from last year, like, Leak is an unselfish guy. You know, when I start to get hot, he's like, man, go. Like, you rolling, go, go, go. And, you know, when he's hot, it's vice versa. Like, come on, man, go. Like, you got the spark. Like, keep being the spark. You know, I don't think there's any selfishness in the room, you know, from all the guys that's in the room. I think it's a very unselfish room. And like I said, when you have depth at a position like that, like, it's hard to stop.